Interesting story. We briefly discussed it on Monday night. But on Monday, the Houthi rebels fired missiles, two missiles, at a U.S. Navy destroyer in the Red Sea. And as a result, actually, the missiles did not hit. The missiles did not strike anything. They fell before they made contact with the destroyer, but the effort was made. We discussed that a little bit. On today, the same exact thing happened. The rebels shot another missile at a destroyer, and it did not hit. However, this time, the U.S. Said that it considered retaliation. Now, the reason the rebels, obviously, if you've been paying attention at all, you know the ongoing war that Saudi Arabia has with Yemen. And as a part of that, there have been some devastating strikes of hospitals, of civilians, thank you, of just all sorts of war crimes. I believe the United Nations said that they want to investigate them as war crimes. And so it makes sense that if the U.S. is involved, even indirectly, for the Houthi rebels to retaliate for a number of reasons. One, not because they're actually going to stop the United States, right? I don't think that they are under any illusion that they can stop the United States or beat the United States. But what it does is if they retaliate against the United States, it actually brings a different light to the situation where people who previously were not paying attention all of a sudden realize that the United States has been hit by the Houthi rebels in Yemen. And then you have to start unpacking it. Like, it really brings light to not those of us who have been paying attention all along, because those of us paying attention all along have been questioning why the United States is backing Saudi Arabia in this conflict that has devastated the region. It is not just a military crisis, it's a humanitarian crisis, right? So it's not as though we need to know about it, but there's a large swath of American population who are completely oblivious to America's involvement in this campaign in Yemen. And so I think by the rebels striking, I think one of their only strategies could be for, or rather to bring attention to the issue. But as of the funeral that was bombed over the weekend, where 140 people were killed, according to the Wall Street Journal, there was a leak that said that the U.S. is potentially going to shift away from providing support to Saudi Arabia, right, because of how atrocious the bombing was over the weekend of the funeral, which killed 140 people, funeral goers. The United States is just reviewing their involvement, providing material support, providing technical support, etc. Now, the question is, now, if you look at the U.S.'s response today, saying that they were looking or considering now retaliating, the question is, will this attempted strike by the rebels in Yemen use up all the goodwill and cause America to say, oh, well, you want to shoot at us, we'll continue our campaign? I don't know. I don't think any reasonable person can look at this effort, this quote unquote strike, and say it was something so drastic that America has to take a hard line in Yemen. And then two, what else are they going to do? Right? It's not like America is going to escalate this further than what Saudi Arabia is already bombing them out of existence. Right. So whether or not, I don't know. I mean, maybe the Yemenis haven't gotten the message from the Wall Street Journal to realize that the United States is considering pulling out and ending their support of Saudi Arabia. Ultimately, that's what needs to happen. We are becoming, or not becoming, we are complicit with war crimes by virtue of Saudi Arabia. And the United States, if we want to have any goodwill in the international community, and we want to ever be able to tell, not that this has ever stopped us before, but you know, let's pretend as though we have principles. If we want to be able to tell the world and other nations, and tell Syria in particular and Russia to not commit war crimes, we cannot stand idly by and be complicit with war crimes that Saudi Arabia is committing in Yemen.